welcome back to my channel. I am finally doing my Q&A video. I'm so pumped for this. So on a recent video, I had asked you guys to ask me questions and we got some really good ones. I think we had almost 100 questions. So I tried to kind of filter through some repeat questions. So hopefully your question gets answered, but because there's so many, there's just no way I can answer all of them. So because there's so many, I'm just gonna jump right into it. But if you are new here, make sure to check out some of my other Disney content and make sure you're subscribed. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Okay, so I've divided the questions into two different segments, everything Disney related and then everything else. So I'm gonna do the everything else questions first and then we'll do all the Disney stuff after that. Okay, so the first question is, what is your job outside of YouTube and what does your husband do for work? So I graduated college in 2015, and for the past 3 years, I have had a couple different administrative assistant type roles. And just recently, a couple months ago, for different reasons, I had stepped away from that job, and I am now at home all the time. It's amazing. Just the fact that we're able to do this has been such a blessing. To be a stay-at-home wife is a dream come true. Just to have time for YouTube and just building relationships with people and serving my home and my husband has been just amazing, and I love it. And again, I don't know how long this season will last, but however short, however long it is, I am so content and I am just loving every moment of this. So my husband, he works in screen printing. So he is in sales for promotional materials and things like that. So t-shirts, hats, mugs, stuff like that. He prints for different businesses and nonprofits, and they do schools and music artists and things like that. So that's what he does. Okay, so the next question is, how did you and your husband meet? I love this story. Okay, so my younger sister, she is 3 years younger than me. She had met Andy at a Bible study one night. I had just started my senior year of college, and they had had a really brief conversation, but somehow from that conversation, she just knew that he was the one for me. So I get a phone call, and she is like, Bekah, oh my gosh, I just met your husband. You need to come home and meet him. And I'm thinking, no, there is no way that's real life. That does not happen. So I kind of brushed it off, and a few months later, I eventually came home for a weekend, and she took me to some church event that he was gonna be at so that we could meet, and she set the whole thing up, and we just hit it right off, and we started dating, and 6 months later, he proposed. So we just knew from the get-go. We knew that that was it. We were gonna get married. And so we were engaged for 4 months by the time we got married. So we had known each other less than a year in the time we got married. So anyway, we've been married for over 3 years now, and it has been an absolute dream. I just absolutely love and adore Andy. He is amazing. Okay, so the next question is, besides Disney, what are some of your favorite things? So that's tough. Besides Disney and YouTube, obviously I love makeup. I post a lot about makeup. I love trying out new products, and it's just so much fun to me. And then I love music. I love to sing. I love leading worship. And yeah, those are some of my favorite things. Okay, so moving on to beauty questions. There were a few of those. What is your favorite hair product and favorite hair products for the Disney parks? So I actually don't use hair products. I mean, obviously other than shampoo and conditioner, I just don't use hair products. I've tried different like mousses and gels and sprays, and I just don't like it. My hair is so thick that it just doesn't work well with my hair, and it always ends up looking like greasy or crunchy or weighed down, or I don't know, my hair always looks better when I don't put product in it. So I don't even use hairspray. So this is just, I love my curling wand that I have. It's the T3 styling wand with all the different attachments on it. I'll post a link to it below. It's like, I live by this thing. It is like amazing. But I don't use hairspray. The wand is so good that this will last me like 2 or 3 days. I might do a couple little touch-ups in the front, but that's it. And this is without hairspray. So I don't really use hair product. So, okay. Then the next question is favorite makeup products. That is that is a really tough one. Right off the top of my head, I would have to say my BareMinerals Bare Pro foundation. I have gone through like 4 or 5 bottles of that. It's my absolute favorite foundation, hands down. I love my Mercier translucent powder. I love my Hourglass blush. And, well, I'll save this one for the next question because I looked at it. What is your favorite mascara? That is the Essence Lash Princess Mascara. Best drugstore mascara, better than high-end mascaras I've ever tried, like Essence Lash Princess. Go run and get this mascara. It is so good. Okay, so on to a few questions about YouTube. Somebody asked, what motivated you to start a YouTube channel? So I had been watching my favorite YouTubers, you know, probably, I would say it's about 3 or 4 years ago, I started like really getting into YouTube. Like, instead of just looking up little random things, I was actually subscribed to people and like commenting on videos and followed along. Every time I got a notification that somebody posted, I was like always one of the first to watch. Like, that was when I first really got into following my favorite YouTubers. And I loved watching their videos so much, and I loved hearing about different beauty products and watching Disney vlogs and like informational Disney videos. And that's honestly how I learned so much about Disney, is from YouTube, from watching other people. And I just thought, that looks like so much fun. I love talking about this stuff. Like, I will talk Andy's ear off about Disney, not so much makeup, but Disney. And I think he kind of gets to a point where he's like, oh my gosh, like I can't talk about this all the time like you can. So I thought, you know what, I need an outlet for this because I love talking about Disney so much. So that is why that's how the thought of starting a YouTube channel kind of came to be. I thought, man, I could do this. Like, I mean, all these other people, they had to start somewhere, and it looks like so much fun. And, you know, even if I had like 5 people follow my channel, it would still be so much fun to me. Like, it wouldn't matter if I never got any views on my videos. It would just be fun to talk to a camera about what I enjoy talking about, and editing and uploading and just everything about it. So that's how I started a YouTube channel. That's what motivated me to do it. So the next question is, how long did you consider creating a channel until you actually posted your first video? That thought of starting a channel, I probably had it for about a year before I actually sat down to do a video. I think it felt so like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I'm too awkward, or I'm too this, or I don't have the right setup, or we were in a 1-bedroom apartment at the time. Like, I don't have good lighting. I don't have a camera. Like, all these excuses and reasons not to do it. And so for a year, those were kind of the reasons why I just kind of pushed it on the back burner. So it was probably a solid year of really thinking about it before I actually sat down to film a video and decide to actually go for it. So with that, were you nervous to post your first video on YouTube, and what do you think about it? I was terrified to post my first video. My first video was on long-lasting makeup for the Disney parks, and I talked about my favorite products, and this was just at the beginning of the year, back in February, so it hasn't even been a year yet, and I was terrified to post it. Just imagining, oh my gosh, people are gonna comment like really mean things, and you know, no one knows me, and you know, I was so nervous. And I look back on that video now, And it's so funny because at the time I was filming on my iPhone 7 and I had my phone propped up on just like a little stack of books. And I was sitting on the floor. I mean, I'm sitting on the floor now, but I was sitting on the floor in front of a little window that led out to our patio, and I would just set up a little chair with books, and I had the camera to where it was facing me, like the front camera, and so I was staring at myself in the whole video. I look back and I kind of cringe on it a little bit because I'm not even looking in the camera. So you laugh, and it's really funny. If you want to go back and, watch it, you totally can, but it's just funny to me. So anyway, but long story short, yes, I was nervous to post my video, my first one at least, and it's fun to look back and think, wow, how far I've come from sitting on the floor in that one bedroom apartment with my iPhone stacked on some books to now I actually have a really nice camera and a tripod. I still don't have any like fancy lighting or anything like that, but I've invested in a camera and I feel like I know iMovie a little bit better. Anyway, so it's just fun. You get to look back and look how far you've grown, Okay, so the next YouTube related question is, what's some advice you'd give someone that wants to start a YouTube channel? I would say make sure whatever you are wanting to create a channel for, whether it's baking or crafts or Disney, make sure it's something that you are really passionate about. Don't just make a channel to make money. You know what I mean? I think if you go into it thinking that, oh, give it a few months, I'm gonna be making loads of money from YouTube and I'm gonna be able to quit my job and do this full time, it's probably not gonna work out that way for you, because you're gonna lose the motivation really quickly. It has to be something that you love and that you're passionate about. And I think for me, starting my channel, it was never about, oh, I gotta get tons of subscribers and I'm gonna make all this money. Yeah, that would be cool, but that's never been a reason as to why I've wanted to do YouTube. I do it because I love talking about Disney and makeup, and I would do it no matter what. Even if YouTube was something where making money wasn't even an option, I would still love it. So that would be my advice if you are wanting to start a channel. Do it because you love it and you're passionate about what you're talking about and passionate about creating content and not doing it to get some kind of following or make money. So that's what I would say. Okay, a few more random questions and then we'll move into Disney. Well, some of these are Disney. So what is your favorite holiday? My favorite holiday is Christmas. That is a no-brainer. The next question, what is your favorite Christmas tradition? That would have to be when I was little, well, even still to this day, my mom does this, but every Christmas Eve, she would get us an ornament, and it was always symbolic for something from that year. So when I was really little, I took ice skating lessons one year, and so she got me this little ice skater like figurine ornament. One year, and they got like more serious the older I got. So one year, I left for college and my mom had just moved into a new house. And so it was kind of this weird time where I didn't feel like I had a home. All my stuff was in boxes and, it was just, you're in that transition time of life. And she got me this ornament that said some kind of phrase about, home is where your family is, or home, so they got more serious as I got older, as the years went on, but it was always something, and still is, that I always look forward to, and that's a tradition that I want to carry on with my family. I just think it's really sweet, and so you can look on your Christmas tree, and it's kind of like this time capsule. You get to look back and remember all these sweet times. So that is my favorite Christmas tradition. Okay, the next question is, what is your favorite Disney movie? Oh, it's so hard to pick one. Yeah, there's no way I could pick one. It would be between The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, the original one, not the new one, which I do love the new one, but there's nothing like the classic originals. And then Tangled. Those are my three, yeah. The next question is, what is your favorite ride in each park? Okay, Magic Kingdom, I would say it's either between, again, I'm like, how do I pick just one at Magic Kingdom, especially? Between Pirates of the Caribbean and Voyage of the Little Mermaid. Epcot, I would say Frozen. Hollywood Studios, I would have said Tower of Terror, but now it's probably tied between Tower of Terror and Slinky Dog. And then Animal Kingdom, Flight of Passage, no brainer. Okay, the next question is, what is something you and your husband do that makes your Disney trips feel adult or romantic? That's a really good question. Okay, I would say we love going to fancy restaurants. That's what we do on date nights if we want to get dressed up. We love doing the California Grill. That's a really fun one because it's more of an experience if you go during the time frame that the fireworks are going on. So that's a really romantic dinner that we have really enjoyed. And another way that we make it feel more adult and romantic is, and we don't have kids, so I don't know anything different, but is staying at deluxe resorts. Anytime me and Andy have gone just the two of us, we always stay at a deluxe resort. We just think it feels like, I don't know, like a really romantic vacation kind of trip, and not just staying at, you know, one of the value resorts, which I would love to do, but if we're wanting it to feel a little more romantic, we love, you know, I mean, I always rent DVC points, so we'll do that and stay at a deluxe resort. So that's what we do, and then something that might, like a little more casual, where you don't have to spend as much money, that we've enjoyed doing too, is go to the Polynesian, get a Dole Whip, and go sit on one of those little swinging benches down by the beach area. That's a really sweet romantic thing that doesn't cost a lot of money either. Okay, the next question is, would you rather attend Not So Scary or Mickey's Very Merry? I would say I would rather attend the Not So Scary Halloween party. I've never been to either of the parties, which I'm like, how is that okay that I've never been to either of them? I would pick the Halloween party because the Christmas party, the parade and the show, once the parties have ended, which I think they end on the 22nd this year, I'm pretty sure, they start doing the parades in the middle of the day after that, past Christmas. So even if you don't get to go to the Christmas party, you can still experience the parade and the show. So you're maybe not getting the full experience of the party at nighttime, but you're still getting to experience the parade and stuff like that. So that's what I would say. Okay, the next question is, have you been able to visit Disney at Christmastime before? So I will answer part of this question later because this comes up again, but it's been a really long time. So as an adult, no, this will be my first time back during the holiday season, but I was a little kid the last time I've really experienced Disney at Christmastime. So I'm really excited to be back. Okay, the next question is, what Disney park would you like to go to that you have not been to yet, and why? So I have not been to any of the international Disney parks, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be Tokyo, because I think it's the most unique, the Disney Sea Tokyo park. I just think it's so different than any of the other parks, you know, Paris, Shanghai, Disneyland, Disney World. I just think it's so unique, and that's really all I know about it, so I don't even have another reason other than that. But I just think going to Tokyo, for one, would be amazing, and then visiting the Disney Sea Park would be so cool. Okay, next is, do you have any recommendations for adding Disney elements to your home decor in a tasteful and subtle way? So this is a fun question too. I love putting little hidden Disney detail around the house. Stuff that it's not just screaming Disney, it's not just, you know, Mickey's face everywhere. It's kind of hidden throughout your house where if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't really see it, you know what I mean? So one is, I love decorating our tree with Disney ornaments. That's a really easy way that you can incorporate Disney into your home. And then another way I love incorporating Disney in a tasteful and subtle way is in our kitchen stuff. So I love having Disney, like, cooking utensils and kitchen towels and tablecloths, and I don't know, we have little like bag clips that have little Mickey like heads on them, and they're really subtle though. So if you weren't looking for Disney or Mickey, you probably wouldn't notice it. But I love it because then every day when I'm in my kitchen, it's, you know, just something that where, I don't know, a way where Disney can be a part of my everyday is what I'm trying to say. So that's what I would say to that is, you know, not so much home decor, but just incorporating Disney into your everyday. That's what I do. Okay, the next question is, and this was another question that was asked several times. So how did you fall in love with Disney, and how does your husband feel about Disney? So I moved to Orlando. My family moved there when I was a toddler. I was about 3 or 4 years old, and my dad was working full time, and my mom was a stay-at-home mom with me and my sister, and she would take us to the parks maybe twice a week growing up. So another question is, how many times have you been to the park? Somebody asked that, and it has to be close to 100 or more because we would go so often growing up. So it was so much a part of my everyday life. As a child, it wasn't a vacation spot. It was just life for us. So that's what Disney was for me. It wasn't you know, this place we would travel far away to get to. You know, it was just 20 minutes down the road, and we would go, you know, after school. My mom would say, okay, if you can finish your homework, then we can go watch the fireworks at Magic Kingdom, you know, or it's our Friday night family dinner, you know, where do you guys want to go? We can go to Chili's or the Wilderness Lodge. That was just our life, and it has so many sweet memories because of that. I had several family members that worked at Disney. They all sang in the Voices of Liberty at Epcot, and so it was just with our whole family. Everybody loved Disney, and it was so much a part of everybody's life and their world that it became my life and my world. And I think that's why I love it so much today. And I'm getting ahead of myself. So we moved to Nashville from Orlando when I was about 11. So right before I went into middle school was when we moved back home to Nashville. So I had all, you know, from 3 years old to 11 at Disney pretty much. And so, you know, I had those years where I just fell in love with it, and we loved it. I had, you know, my 8th birthday party was in Cinderella's castle, and I mean, just so many, I have so many memories as a child at the parks with my mom, with my sister, and our whole family, and going to see our, you know, aunts and uncles performing at, you know, at Epcot. And it's just such a sweet place for me, because it's more than just somewhere we vacation. It feels like my childhood. So that is why I love Disney so much. And my husband had been to Disney, I think, twice in his whole life when we had first met. And so to him, he did not understand at all the love for Disney. Like, it was kind of weird, I think, that he thought it was weird. He was like, it's just a place you go to vacation. Like, what's the big deal? And I'm thinking, no, you don't understand. Like, it's Disney World. And I would talk his ear off about it. And so we finally went together our first year of marriage, and he totally understood why I loved it so much. And then going back again with him a second time, I think I'm starting to kind of slowly hook him a little bit more, because he gets it now. And I think staying at the deluxe resorts, you know, trying out really nice restaurants, and that's the part he loves, is the whole experience of it. And I think he's seeing more that it's more than just, you know, some rides, and it's, you know, a whole experience, and it's this world of its own. So I think he's getting to experience it in that aspect for the first time with me, which is really, really fun. And he knows that it's something that I'm really passionate about. And so because of that, it's something that he loves too. Not on the same level yet, maybe one day, but right now he loves it because I love it. And I'm thankful to be married to somebody who is really supportive about something that you're passionate about and willing to invest in that. So That is my long-winded answer to how did I fall in love with Disney. Okay, the next question is, have you visited any other parks besides Walt Disney World? Yes, I have been to Disneyland one time. I went for the day and I was in LA for another reason, and so I didn't go exclusively for Disney, but I would love to actually plan a trip where the whole trip is dedicated to Disney and California Adventure. So I've only been to Disneyland, I've never been to California Adventure, so I would love, again, I would love to plan a trip exclusively to visit the parks at Disneyland, but for now, I've just done Disneyland one time for one day and I loved it. Okay, next is, if you were in Disney for one day, what would you do and where would you eat? Oh gosh, this is a really tough one. Okay, so if I were in Disney for one day, I would do Magic Kingdom, just because I feel like that's the signature, you gotta experience Magic Kingdom if you're only in Disney for a day. And then if, let's say like if money were no object, if I'm on no budget, I would do, for breakfast, I would go to Animal Kingdom Lodge and do Boma's breakfast. I've heard their breakfast buffet is to die for. And then lunch, I would do my favorite quick service restaurant, Satuli Canteen in Animal Kingdom. And then for dinner, again, money no object here, I would do Victoria and Albert's. That is like, oh my goodness, on my bucket list, dream come true. So again, if money were no object, that is what I would do. I would start off the day at Animal Kingdom Lodge, hop over to Animal Kingdom, have my favorite quick service lunch there, and then head to Magic Kingdom and then do dinner at Victoria and Albert's. That would be like my dream day at Disney. Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be amazing. Okay, the next question is, are you a DVC member or have you considered buying DVC? So no, we are not members, and yes, we have considered buying it, but I think for the season of life we're in right now, it's just not something that would work well for us. We don't go to Disney every year. This year is rare that we're going twice. That never happens. I could see us going back next year once maybe, but you know, again, I've said this in another video before about, you know, comparing buying and renting DVC. And I just think as we're going into the years ahead of us, as we're anticipating, you know, having a baby one day soon, and just, I don't know, financially, there's so many factors that go into it because it's such a huge investment that I don't think it would be a wise choice for us right now. Now that may totally change in the years to come when our kids are, you know, older or something, but right now I don't see us going enough to make it worth it. Yeah, so I'll leave that there because there are some other questions about DVC. So tagging off of that, what do you think about DVC? Is it easy to get reservations and is it worth the price? So I think DVC is a great option if you go every year. Now, if you are someone who's gonna go every 3 or 4 years, then it doesn't make sense. If you are somebody who you would rather stay, or you're more content staying at the moderate or value resorts, then don't buy DVC. It doesn't make sense for you. And so to answer the question, is it easy to get reservations? It totally depends. There's so many factors that go into it, depending on what your home resort is, when you're booking, what type of room you're booking. You know, it just totally depends based on all those different things, if there's availability. So that's what I would say to answer that question. Okay, the next question is, which Disney resorts have you stayed at? So I actually haven't stayed at that many. Like I mentioned before, because we grew up in Orlando and we would go to the park so often, but we lived so close, we never had a need to stay overnight. We would just go home. So I've only stayed at, I think, 5 resorts. So I've stayed at Caribbean Beach, Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Lodge, Polynesian, and Old Key West. So those are the only Disney resorts I've ever stayed at. I haven't stayed at any of the value, and Caribbean Beach is the only moderate resort I've stayed at. And then I have several to go to mark off the deluxe resort checklist that I have. So I would love to be able to say that I have stayed at all of the resorts. I have a long way to go, but for right now, those are the only resorts that I have stayed at. Okay, and the last question is, what is your favorite Disney resort? So out of the 5 resorts I've stayed at, I would say it's a tie between the Polynesian and the Wilderness Lodge. They both are 2 totally different experiences, but I love them both for different reasons. And yeah, there's no way I could pick between those 2. I just think both are amazing, again, for different reasons. I love them both. Okay, so that is all the questions I have for today. I'm gonna cut it off here because there were so many other questions, but I knew this video was gonna be forever long, so we'll just call it here. But thank you guys so much for watching. This was so much fun getting to share about my life, my family, my love for Disney with you guys. So make sure to subscribe if you're not already and check out some of my other Disney content, and make sure to like this video if you enjoy content like this, just more casual kind of hanging out style videos. I would love to do more stuff like this if you guys would be interested in that. So thank you guys again for watching, and that's it for today. So I will see you next time. Bye.